Hello and welcome to the expert chat. My name is Jahnavi Katti and I welcome you all lovely ladies, and I myself am a freedompreneur, and I'm so happy that you all interested in exploring this wonderful space of how to become a freedompreneur. So let me start with sharing my journey and how I became a freedompreneur myself. Well, my journey started around a couple of years, or maybe a little longer, maybe around 3 or 4 years, roughly. And it all started uh, because I was myself an entrepreneur, and I was actually traveling a lot, and that's how my journey started. But let me start from the beginning when I became an entrepreneur. And in fact, a couple of decades ago, I was one of the first few women who had the fortune of becoming an entrepreneur coach. That too, a women entrepreneur coach. I got certified from Indian Institute of Management in Bangalore as a woman entrepreneur coach, and I became an entrepreneur myself by opening my company called KeyKonnecct. And this is how my journey as an entrepreneur started. And so I was actually very passionate about speaking, about training and coaching, and basically about personal development. So I had read a lot of books, and I myself was on a journey of developing my own self. So it was so easy for me to, because of my passion, I could just go on stage and address big groups of IT techies, managers, senior managers, leaders across industries, right from IT to you name it. So that's how my journey started, and I was actually training and coaching all these people that I spoke of just now into leadership skills, into communication skills, and in various other soft skills. And as my journey evolved, I got certified as a leadership coach from the International Coach Academy in Australia. This is an online teaching academy where the whole course is spread over almost 6 months to 1 year, is something like a period over which you need to attend those classes, and then you get certified, and you also get accredited from the International Coach Federation. So after having completed this, and after also getting my certification as a mindfulness coach from MIT in Boston, and this was an 8-week program which was put into an online 8-week program which was encapsulated into a 5-day intense in-house program in Boston. So I attended this course and I got certified as a mindfulness coach. And so I was into this for the last 2 decades, and I've been training and coaching, and as I said, into leadership skills and soft skills. But then over the last 5 years is when I realized that this was not suiting my lifestyle. Now, being a woman, I had my family to attend to, and my daughters are staying in the US, and I needed to travel a lot, and almost like 4 or 5 or sometimes even 6 months I would be traveling. I would be going for staying with my family to holidays, as well as I was attending conferences, going to various other countries, and sometimes I traveled to US, sometimes to Brazil, and I did my retreats and also my events in places like Maldives and Thailand. So what happened over this period of time was I realized that one is I was not able to actually sustain this, because of my family lifestyle and my other priorities. And secondly, I also realized that the whole game of this training and coaching is changing, because people prefer bit-sized, micro-sized learning, and they wanted very small sized learnings, which is because of the lifestyle changes again. And then very few people have that bandwidth to sit for 8 hours of training or even 1 hour of coaching. So everything went online, and people started using Skype and Zoom. And even earlier I was doing this for some of my clients sitting in different countries, but then I realized that this is becoming the norm. And that is when I felt I should also start adopting this. And anyway, it suited my lifestyle as well. And that is when I actually came across this whole talk about freedompreneur, because that's what is freedompreneur. Freedompreneur basically means living a life that you dream of, living a life where you are actually loving what you do. And also, it's like having a laptop and your phone as your office. You don't need much. So I'm going to get into questions now. Enough of my journey. And now another thing that I would like to add is I am actually having my own brand called Story to Satori, which I have created. And these are all because of the mindfulness that I practiced and the mindset that I always wanted to improve. And being a personal development coach and transformation coach, I felt that these are the tools that I always used on myself and my clients. And based on that, I created a model which is called Story to Satori. And I am hosting my podcast show where I interview women and some men also who have actually moved on from the stories of judgment, of self-doubt, of negative self-beliefs, and they have moved on to places where they are standing in their power, in their light, and they are having Satori moments of wisdom, and they know who they are. They know what their authentic power is. And that's what I'm actually focusing now. Right now, I'm coaching women to become freedompreneurs and get their businesses online. So that's about me. So I would like to take the questions one by one, which I've already kind of noted down, and I kept it as a list. And probably I would also be referring to the groups that where I'm going to get the questions. The first question that I am addressing is by Lita Shailesh, where she asks, what's the difference between a freedompreneur and an entrepreneur? Wonderful question. Thank you for asking. So the first things that I would say is an entrepreneur's job is something like a 9 to 5, and probably it could become 9/24/7, because it's a baby that they have actually given birth to. And the business that they are into, it is something which they need to give their a lot of time and a lot of their effort and energy, and it's like almost like 24/7. Whereas in a freedompreneur's business, we also are into business, but then our job is something like we are focusing more on freedom from the place that we work from, or the time that we devote to, and also the lifestyle. And having said that, the second thing that comes to my mind is we usually the entrepreneur trades time for money. I mean, the amount of time that you give is what you're going to get. It's like you are trading time for money. Whereas in the freedompreneur's life, what they are doing is they are actually focusing more on their lifestyle, on their families, on their health and passion, and of course their dreams. That's most important. I'll come one by one so that you will get a good picture of what exactly this is all about. And if you are looking, if you start the entrepreneurial journey, it's very difficult to change, because what happens is it's like a brick and mortar business many a time. And it's something that you need to actually build on, and you cannot just quickly kind of change. Whereas in a freedompreneur's journey, it's everything is online. Everything is very flexy. And suppose, I'll go into the nitty gritties a little later. Suppose you started with one, and you feel, suddenly your passions have changed, or you feel you're resonating with something else, and then you can shift, you can change. There's no problem in doing that. That's the one thing. And then, it's like, here, you need a structure, a place where you need to rent out, you need to pay the rent, you need to have that kind of a shop or whatever it is. Here, it is something where you just need your laptop, and that's your place, and then you need some table, and then that's it. You can work from home, like right now I'm doing. And in the entrepreneur's journey, you need a lot of capital. There's funding that is involved, because as you scale up, maybe in the beginning you can actually bootstrap, you can ask money from your friends, from your own resources, and you can start the business. But then as you grow, as you scale, you definitely need funding. And not that it's an issue, but sometimes it does get an issue, because unless you have that kind of a bandwidth, and then you are able to take risks, as well as you have that scalability, because the people who fund also are going to see into the business that you are into and whether it is actually viable, right? Whereas in a freedompreneur's business, it's not a huge investment. It's not something like it goes in crores of rupees. It's like start small, and then you build on that. As you earn, you build. And what is the other difference? Here, you're making an active income. You're more focusing on active income when you do a entrepreneurial stint, or your entrepreneurial business. It's like a brick and mortar or something. Maybe even if you're doing e-commerce and then you do that, probably you have to have a kind of a huge investment. Whereas here, what I'm talking of here, this is something where you have the scope of creating passive income. So what is passive income? I will talk in a bit, but then I can give you a little information. It's more about creating an income where you are earning even when you're sleeping. Can you beat it? Suppose you're on a holiday and then you're relaxing, you're on a beach and you're sleeping, you're just kind of relaxing, and then something pops up into your bank account and then you get a credit. How would you feel? Wouldn't you feel good about it? That's passive income. I'll talk about it a little later. And then let me give you a very kind of tangible experience, tangible example. Like, let's take, compare having a modular kitchen business, because there was a question on modular kitchen. So I'm just trying to relate that to, suppose you have to have a modular kitchen business, then so naturally you need to have a place where you have either a shop or a kind of a place where you display all your cabinets, right? The kitchen, either if it's a chimney or if it's a kind of the whole setup. And you have to have a kind of a place where you are actually kind of showcasing all your goods and all your services there, about how you're going to provide that modular kitchen to them. But then think about it as a freedompreneur. What you could do is, instead of having a place, you can just have an online shop where you just put all your things, showcase it. Maybe you can have a few products, and then you talk about what this product is going to actually benefit the customer for, and how is this going to benefit the customer. And when they get the idea, and many people buy when they actually know the product, right? They get acquainted, they get an experience of it. Why do we buy products? Because it's because we have an experience of it somewhere. We have heard it, we have either experienced it ourselves, whether, or we would have been either we have read about it, we have heard about it, we have seen it ourselves, gone and seen, we have either touched it if it's something like a product that we love to use it. And because of all this, we have got a trust that this product is going to give us this kind of a satisfaction or the fulfillment or whatever it is that we are looking for. And utility, of course, the utility, that it's how it's going to be used by us. So having said that, this is what you can do it online, and then enhance that with your offline, if you would like to do that in that fashion. So let me take, I hope this difference is like pretty visible now, that you have the visibility of how these two are differing. And let me take the next question now. I think it'll get more and more clearer as we go ahead. Now, Anshita Joshi is asking, hello, is there a particular qualification I require to become a freedompreneur? Well, Anshita, this is a beautiful question. Absolutely no, there is no qualification required, but there is one thing that is required, is your passion. And what is really required? I think I can answer it with the next question as well. Um, what are the basics of becoming a freedompreneur, which is asked by Shreya Subaya. I think we can combine these two questions. What are the basics required to become a freedompreneur, and is a qualification required? Absolutely no. See, it to become a freedompreneur, all that is required is a passion, or your skill, or your knowledge that you're ready to share it with others, and you want them to actually get the experience of it, and you know how you did it, you know how you actually. Let's take that example of my own self, because I was into personal development, transformation, mindfulness, and mindset, and leadership, and training, and coaching, and writing, speaking. So I put all these things into a kind of an offering, and then I've created my own little model, and I've got my skill sets and my passion, my energy, and my dream that I have to actually make 100,000 women as freedompreneurs. That's my dream. My dream is, my mission is to actually create 100,000 women as freedompreneurs and as knowledge coaches. So all you need to do is have that knowledge and have that passion to share that knowledge or share that skill set. And of course, you should be willing to do that, and you should share the journey as well, how you did it, from where were you and where are you now. Is nothing like there is no need to have any kind of a cooking up the story or anything. Whatever you have gone through is what people really want to see, so that they want to buy in to what you have actually gone through, and they understand and they resonate that. So when you need to sell your product or your services, you need to understand that all you need is your passion, your skill sets, or your knowledge, that your wisdom. Sometimes it could be a wisdom, there may be such wisdom nuggets, and which you can actually counsel people, you can coach people, and you can actually make these people who are looking for that, you can actually make them get the satisfaction, the customer satisfaction that we talk about. Hope it has made it clear to you. Now let's take the next question. Nisha Adiga is asking, how do we generate quality work by following the rules of freedompreneur? Now, as I said, the rules of freedompreneur are very simple. I mean, there are rules, of course. There is, see here, the rule is, it's like a flexi job. The thing is that there is hard work, of course. Nothing comes easy. Let me tell that at the outset. There is no shortcut to success. And nothing is easy in life. You need to have that passion. You need to have that willpower. You need to have the readiness to put in the hard work. But here, the best part is, it all depends on you. How much work you are willing to put in, or how much effort you are willing to put in. But the best part is, it all depends on how you structure your lifestyle. Like, for example, I'm a person who prefers to start my work a little later in the day, post lunch, so that all my work is done and I've done for the day. I usually get up a little late because I sit late in the night, and then so I prefer to get up late. Then I have my own cup of tea, or probably have my me time. I do a little bit of my rituals and my little meditation, or whatever it is that I want to take a mindful pause in my life before I begin the day. I don't want to start my day with a rush. So I want to have that kind of a pause and also a poise. So because of this, and also I know that I have a lot of travel to do during the year, and sometimes I need to go out of the country. So all these things, taking all that into account, and I have created my lifestyle. So if you have small kids at home, and you have kids who want to have to be left to school, and then you need to take care of elderly people at home, or you have your own issues with your health or your sleep or pattern, or whatever it is, that when is your peak time during the day, you need to figure that out. Accordingly, you have to generate the quality work, and these are the rules. And there's nothing like a rule that is which is for everybody it is the same. No. So you create your rules, but there have to be rules, there has to be a structure, there has to be a kind of a system that you need to follow. But the best part is, it's very flexible. You can work from any part of the world, from at any time, and you create your own lifestyle. You actually create your own way of life, and that is what is, because we call ourselves freedompreneurs, and that's what is freedompreneurs. You get the freedom to do at any time, any part of the world, and from anywhere. You can either sit in your kitchen and then you can start your own cooking courses, or you can be traveling and showing people how to travel. If you are a travel expert, and then you move in buses, in planes, in airports, and then you show them how to do that. Whatever, the sky is the limit. Now let me take the next question. How to run a successful company as a freedompreneur. Now this is a question by Tina Daniel. Thank you, Tina. So the question here is how to run a successful company as a, see, you don't have to have a company as such, but then it's always good for maintaining your accounts, maintaining your finances. It's always good to have a sole proprietorship, which is the best way, and which is the least headache, and you can manage it on your own. And that's what I do. My company KeyKonnecct is a sole proprietorship, and so it's easy to manage. And how can you actually run a successful company? See here, it's when I talk about sole proprietorship, it means you're a solopreneur. So it's very easy, right? When you have people with whom you need to work, usually what happens in an entrepreneurship, usually they start a company, and then after some time, when they need to raise the funds, they are advised to have co-founders, then they need to have partners. So these are all very, I would say, personally I would love to run my own company, have the freedom. That's what is more on my mind than anything else, because I want the freedom to move around, have my own lifestyle, and it's like having comfortable income and not a 9 to 5 job, and which I always dreamt of, and earn enough money and plenty of time and enjoy my life doing what I dream. So this is the reason, why you need to have a company only for the sake of managing your accounts, managing, paying your taxes, and having that kind of a structure. But more so because of that, so there is not a big deal. And how you run a successful company is, of course, like any other business, you need to put in enough number of hours, and also uh, the other things that I would like to talk is, you need to be very clear about your niche. That's very important. A lot of people, we are talking of women here, so but generally if you see, a lot of people get into business thinking that, yeah, this is somewhere, many people are making profit, and so I also, if I jump into that, I can make profit. So I don't think that's the right way to do. You need to figure out what is your niche, and again, a micro niche, because the reason is, a lot of women come to me and they take help from me, mentoring, coaching. So I actually, I've been trying to train and coach and mentor, where I keep, giving them these kinds of, I would say, those nuggets of wisdom, where I actually went through a lot of learning myself. It took me 1 whole year to understand what my niche was. And the reason, because we feel, I've got this kind of a background, I've always trained and coached the IT techies, the managers, the senior managers, the leaders in corporates. So they are my target market. So I understood, I know I am in a different place now. I'm in a different space. My whole environment has changed. I'm working from home. I prefer to work when I'm traveling. So for that reason, I think it's very important to redefine who my target market is and what my niche is. So I changed it from the corporate environment to women and women entrepreneurs who want to take the businesses online, or fresh people, fresh women who want to start their businesses and become freedompreneurs. So I think that's the way to successfully, run your business. And you need to have that passion, you need to have that energy, you need to have that kind of vision, what you want to do, and be very clear about your niche. And that's when you're going to have a very successful business, or a company, if you are thinking as a business as a company. But business and company are two different things here, so I made that clear. We can have more talk about that. And now Smita Sinha is asking, hi, what are some tips that will help me run my business like a freedompreneur? Hi Smita, I gave a lot of tips here and I can add more. To run your business as a freedompreneur, one is, I think one should be very clear, as I said, about your niche. And if you are not clear about your niche, join my program, which I'm offering. In fact, I welcome all these women here in this group who are attending this expert chat, to please hop on to my Facebook group, which is called Women Freedompreneurs Mastermind, where I have started this group so that we mastermind, we have more ideas, and where I also make my offerings, which is called Discover Your Niche, where I help women to find out what their niche is. Unless you're clear about your niche, it's very difficult to run your business as a freedompreneur. As I told earlier to Tina, that to run this successfully, you need to have a great clarity about who your target market is. What is it that you want to offer as a product? And also, what is it that what is your niche? Now, you must be wondering, what is she talking about? What is this product? I'll come to that step by step. Now, I would like to answer some questions which I already typed yesterday from the group. And one of them is, can you tell me, Ruchi Lalpur has asked, how can I start freelancing career in Mumbai? Now, Ruchi, I want to actually tell you that this is not about a freelancer, the chat, but nevertheless, I would just suggest few Upwork, Elance, where, I have actually not tested this a lot, but then the reviews say that there's a lot of scam, kind of happening there. And not that the companies are, they want that. Upwork and Elance are very good freelancing sites, but then you should also you should be very careful about where you bid your project. And because sometimes there have been people leaving the comments that they have not been paid for the work that they have done, but you should try your luck there. So the next question is Vidya Lakshmi. What are the ways in which one can become a freedompreneur? Which I've been telling Vidya that the way is simple. You need to identify what is your passion and what are you really passionate about. I mean, imagine that, like you are given anyway now the situation because of health reasons, coronavirus, most of us are working from home, or we are on a break, we have taken a kind of a leave or something, and then we are looking after our children. Most of us are thinking, rethinking, oh my god, now look at the situation, which is, we don't know, how long this will go on. And these are like unpredictable situations. Now when these things are like happening, and also the travel that women sometimes feel the very difficult to do. And I have realized I used to travel at least 3 to 4 hours just to reach my place. Like sometimes it would be Electronic City, sometimes Whitefield, sometimes Sarjapur Road, and I stay in the north of Bangalore. So I would spend around 4 hours only on the road, and then another 8 to 9 hours. So it would be so hectic for me, and I would be left with no energy. But yet, I was passionate, so it was happening. But as you kind of age, or probably you also have different stages of life where you want to prioritize for your kids, for your own spouses, or for your other hobbies and stuff like that, that is the time when you need to redesign your life. And that is the way you become a freedompreneur. I'm answering Vidya Lakshmi's question, what are the ways? So one way of becoming a freedompreneur is, one thing is, you need to become clear, why do you want to become a freedompreneur. That's most important. When your why is clear, when your purpose is clear, I think then itself it becomes more fascinating or interesting for you. And once you are clear about your why, the ways will always open up. Like now you're in this expert chat and you're finding out for yourself what are the ways. The ways is become very clear about your passion area. Let's take example of nowadays we have so many of women are talking about the kids. So your kids could be your area of passion. I'm just taking an example. There are different, many others which we talk about. Um, but if your kids are, and then you have very small kids, and then you are actually, you love to, research on the diapers, or you want to talk about the rashes that they get, or the medicines that they need to keep taking, and the cough that they get, or the health conditions that they need to be taking care of. And if they are older children, then how do we manage them in the teen age? So you can actually start, whatever you have researched is your knowledge, and that is where your expertise comes. Nobody else knows what you know. So if you can start writing a blog on that, and if you can have a few courses on that, imagine someone else sitting in some other part of the world, or maybe in India and some other place, they don't have access to this kind of knowledge. Now we can either go offline and attend a course on all these, but if it is available on the fingertips in the laptop or in the mobile, imagine how it can actually help that other lots of other women. And we always want to actually get information from like-minded people, so somebody is there out there resonating with what you can offer. So that is the reason you can actually, that is the way to become a freedompreneur. Whatever, as I told you earlier, you are ready to share, and which has got value for others, that has to have value for others, and which people are really looking out for. And how you did it, because see, you went that way as a parent, and you have reached where your children are in teens, and you went through all those problems, right? You had to deal with this, you have to deal with that. And there are sometimes I have been talking, and then some women have shared that there are a lot of challenges that women face during the teenage, children growing up as teenagers. Some are addicted, some are like addicted to phones or games. And so you can create that kind of a course where this mother who is sitting, who doesn't know this can be dealt in this way, she gets this, puts her hands on this course of yours. It's a digital course I'm talking about. It's not a course where like you go and then you have to book a hotel, or call people, you have to do marketing, and then you gather the people physically and they come and they learn from you. No, this is something which you put it on your website. I'm coming to that. How do you create a website? There are a few questions which are being asked. I read all those questions yesterday. So this is the way forward, my friends, because nowadays everything is being learned online. Don't you go to YouTube? First thing is anything you want, any kind of you're looking for a new cuisine or a dish, you just Google search, go to YouTube, learn. Something happens, you need to fix your tube light or a fan or something, you just Google search, you go to YouTube and you find out. So there are a lot of people waiting for your knowledge, for your skill sets, for your passion. So that is what I'm talking about. These are the ways to become a freedompreneur. Now let me take the next question. That's a question by Vasudha Venkatraman. I'm interested in freelancing. Could you guide me on websites which cater to freelancers in the field of accounting and finance? Now, thank you, Vasudha. But again, as I answered Ruchi, the freelancing websites are there like Upwork, Elance, and Freelancer. So you can check them out. I have not been that typical freelancer who goes and I'm talking about freedompreneur. But in a freelancer, what I know is you need to, it takes time to build your reputation. And then in the beginning, for the beginners, it's good. But once you have actually made your name, then the best thing is to have your own identity. Instead of working for somebody, you work for your own self. You be your own boss. And that's what is being a freedompreneur. It's not about working for others, because here what happens is you need to be actually, be very cautious about not getting any spam or scam. You need to get the good people to work with, first of all. And the secondly is, you need to get paid for your work. And thirdly is, you need to deliver according to whatever that you have committed there, whereas here it is with your own pace. You're doing it at your own pace. So that doesn't mean that you take your own time. We also have clients here as freedompreneurs, but then you are making that a priority first of all, and then in that framework you're working. Okay, I hope I answered that question of yours. And accounting and finance, I think, again, you can actually, as a freedompreneur, create great courses which a lot of women are looking out for. If you are an expert in accounting and finance, there would be lots and lots, thousands of women who want tips, who want small little guidance on taxation. I'm just assuming, it could be taxation, GST, or it could be how to pay the income taxes, or how to so all those professional tax, whatever taxation and all that, you can offer them as small little courses. That's an option you can think about. Sonakshi Abhinav Sinha is asking, how can I start freelancing? I worked as a modular kitchen designer. Now, again, I had taken your example, Sonakshi. What I would say is, if you want to start freelancing, I don't know how you freelance as a modular kitchen designer, but as a freedompreneur, I would suggest that you can beautifully design those virtual, experiences for the people who want to buy the modular kitchen from you. Now, suppose you are a dealer and you have all uh, the the kitchens in the supplier's location, and you are just a dealer. You're presenting it to them. You don't have to have a store. You can have a great virtual website, and then a system that I will share in the end, and where you are actually creating these courses, small little mini courses, where I just open up, I go into my own kitchen, I open up the closets, I open the cabinets, then I kind of have that feel. I can actually, it's like a drag and drop. I can design my kitchen. If suppose I don't want all my knives and all the spoons and things like that, the forks in the cabinet, I want them just to hang, all my pans to hang, so that I don't have the time or the bandwidth to kind of remove them in the morning. So you can actually let them have that experience of drag and drop and create their own modular kitchen, and then design it for them on the physical level. So these are all possible if you offer them as courses. It's a very creative field. I'm sure, this being a freedompreneur is being very creative, by the way. So it's such a beautiful space, and women, we have so much of creativity. We have so much of, bandwidth. We have been such great, people on this planet who have always, kind of brought up the families and sustained the families. We have nurtured and nourished, so we can actually create a lot of things as a freedompreneur, and the sky is the limit. So you can start as a freedompreneur. I don't know about freelancing, but I have suggested you how you can start your freedompreneurs as a modular kitchen designer. So Suchika has asked me, Suchika Rao, I want to expand my healing business and get more and more people and be empowered with self-healing methods, moving up the consciousness map. Great question, Suchika. And so what I would suggest is, you are in the business of healing, and if you want to heal people and let other people know that you can do self-healing and move the consciousness up, the best place is to do online. And there is one more question from you, by the way. Please guide me, what are the steps to be taken, how to create my own website and other online technology. These questions are also by Suchika, so I'm combining all the three, and I'm addressing these three questions. Well, what you could do is, if you want to raise the consciousness of people, and how many can you actually address when you have an offline event? You can at the max have 20 people, 40 people, 100 people in a room. Beyond that, you would need more assistance. You can't do a one-on-one, right? But suppose if you give them this opportunity to do the self healing themselves, as you have been talking, and if there are healing modalities like Reiki or something, people can heal themselves. And if you're already into such things, then what you can do is you can create those courses. And how do you create that website? I can help you with that. There are ways, as I told, I was talking to Sonakshi Abhinav Sinha, that there are websites which you can design. I have designed my own website as a freedompreneur, which I think I can share it with you once this thing gets over and you are in my Facebook group. I can invite you to have a look at my website. So it is a simple thing, we all have that in the mind that, it's a great difficult thing. There was no coding involved. There was nothing. I don't come from a technology background at all. It just took me a few hours per day, and I think in a couple of months, or sometimes maybe you can stretch it to 3 months. No big deal, because you have it your own. Your confidence increases because you're having your own website, and it's your kind of creation. So you can actually you can put your own energy there. And as a self, you want to be a healer, you want to actually spread this globally. You written it, you want to actually increase your reach to beyond India into a global world where people are waiting for such healing sessions. So you can create that website, and you can actually then take it up with other things that I can teach you more in depth, where people come there, experience it, and then you can build your own networks, and you can invite them to those small little sessions, or you can have online summits where you can invite experts, other experts, and you can give them 10x experience of this feeling, which sitting at home they get this. That's a wonderful thing, right now you guys, you all are sitting at home, and aren't we having this kind of a great experience of doing this expert chat? I am so much at ease because I don't have to travel. And especially in situations like this, when there is a coronavirus, nobody wants to go outside and take the risk. And even otherwise, like I told you, I have stopped traveling a lot because I don't want to strain myself and lose my energy. So I'm sure, when you are doing energy work yourself and you're into healing, you can definitely build this, and you can come up with your website, and that's no big deal. You can do that. That's you can always do it. And let me take next few questions. There's a question from Hilda Joseph. Hi ma'am, which latest field according to you has the maximum scope for me to pursue my passion to become a freedom prana? Thank you, Hilda. And that's a great question. Like I said, there are a lot of things now coming up. I would say, being a woman, I would say there is n number of things that you can do. But the most happening, or people, women especially nowadays, I'm seeing they're sharing their knowledge in whatever field they are into. Like I talked about modular kitchen of Sonakshi, or it could be the accounting of Vasudha. So there is nothing like this is it. But the way you do it is more of through blogging. So it can be in any field or your area of passion. It can be cooking, or it could be accounting, or it could be stitching saris. Like other day I met a lady. What she does is she gives home delivery. She goes there, sits there, and designs your clothes. And imagine, you have a wedding, and then you get all this service. And for the entire family, a tailor has come. She's not a tailor, she's a designer. So when this kind of a unique services you get, so these sky is the limit. You can do lots, but the way it is done is you need to have a presence. That's the whole thing now. And I'm helping women to get that presence. If you have a knowledge, if you have a skill set, and if you have a passion, there are ways. And the ways to do it is, of course, you need to become a great blogger. You need to use videos as where you talk about your your product or your service. and you need to have your YouTube channel, you need to have your Facebook presence, your Instagram and your Pinterest. And apart from that, you need to have a course which you sell. And when you sell this course, and that becomes the kind of a USP which nobody else is giving, and that is where you create your niche. And I hope, Hilda, I can make sense to you, and this is the way. So there is your question, to answer your question, which is the latest field according to you? Now, the latest field is again, I mean, that way, if you technologically see, AI is, IT, artificial intelligence, but then we are not, like, everybody is not into AI, right? But then if you ask a person like me who's into more into learning and development, training, coaching, I would say EI, emotional intelligence. But again, not everybody wants that. So there is no such thing as today this is the, because everything is changing so dynamically. Like, you see, all these millennials, they are into a lot of mental health problems. So I would say this is one of the fields which is untapped. Lot of youngsters are going through a lot of mental health issues. It's like depression. And so if you are an expert in that, if you have experienced, and if you can share your journey, and if you can help people, that's a great place to be in. Or I would say, if suppose you are into the business of personal development, then that's a great place where so many of people are looking out for that. And India being having the highest percentage of millennials, more than 65%, then they are all looking out for this kind of knowledge. They're looking out for skill sets. They just want, their attention span is just 7 seconds. So you can imagine, nobody wants to sit for 8 hours and then listen to that boring lecture. No, they want bite-sized learning. So you can create those kinds of courses for them. And the best way to do it is through the videos. And apart from that, I would say food, of course, everybody wants to have various kinds of foods. And you can think about writing. There are a lot of people who are getting into writing, children's health, and then teenager problems. So there are many, which we can discuss. But as I said earlier, it's very important. It's not about what is doing well over there. What is it that resonates with you? That's most important. What is your niche? And you need to discover your niche. Like the other day, like I had this small little workshop which I conducted, and there was a certified leadership coach. Now finally she found out that was not her niche at all. Actually, she discovered her niche was helping women deal with divorce. So you can understand, the way things change when you go through the workshop. And so I welcome you all to, I'm going to conduct a lot of online workshops where you will go very deeper and understand what your niche is. And now let me take the next questions. um, Gayatri Subramaniam is asking, how do I switch from an entrepreneur to freedompreneur? That's not difficult, Gayatri, but of course, you need to understand what is, sorry, what is your business right now. If you are already an entrepreneur, have invested a lot, and you've taken funds, and then you need to kind of, figure out how you're going to, kind of, are you planning to shut that, or do you want to start afresh? If it is something fresh that you're looking for, definitely, that's not at all a difficult thing. You need to figure out what your niche is again. You, maybe that is not working for you, and that is the reason why you got this thought. Or maybe you're not getting the enough number of clients. So I need to know what your business is all about. So please get on to the group, the Women Freedompreneurs Mastermind. I invite all women here to, let's come there and let's brainstorm, let's mastermind, and you will come to know more in detail. Because with only this much of information, I'm not able to give you that in-depth answer. But all I would say is, you need to figure out, why is it that you want to shift from there to here? Is it because of not getting many clients, or is it that you are fed up with that, you want to try out something new? Or is it you have lost interest and passion? So it's not difficult to become a freedompreneur, but then you also have to go in depth, find out your niche, And if it is related to the same business, then we have to have one-on-one coaching session, and then you'll figure out. Definitely, it's not a big deal. So moving on, I think all our questions are answered here. So let me look at things in the in the group. Once I know what the groups are asking for, and I can actually answer more questions. Okay, there's one more question here from um, Suchika Rao again. Hi Janvi, with your expertise, could you give us guidelines for financial viability? Good question, Suchika. I would say, see, the financial viability here is you're talking about, it's a very sustainable business, because the reason that why we have, if you're opting for becoming a freedompreneur, um, you're opting for becoming a freedompreneur. The reason is, as I told you, all the reasons, the ways of becoming a freedompreneur, why you want to become a freedompreneur. I became a freedompreneur because I wanted something, working from home or working from any part of the world, a lot of flexibility in I don't want, when I was actually having my business, it was almost like being a freelancer. I would, some of the business I developed, most of the business came from those vendors. And when the vendors would, anytime they would call me up and say, hey, look, tomorrow you may have to go here and travel to this place, we'll send you the tickets, and then you need to fly, and then you need to kind of deliver this program. I was very excited. I would go, but then there was no schedule. I experienced a burnout at that time, because this kind of a unpredictable and lot of travel, lot of unpredictabilities, and all the time being on the tenterhooks that I may get the work or I may not get the work. So this is something. My job was more like a freelancer than a business entrepreneur. So because I'm dependent on somebody giving me the business, and I don't have the freedom to develop. I had the freedom to develop my business, but then being a solopreneur, I never had a business development team, so I didn't invest money into that. So that became a kind of, for me, a kind of, I would say, a shortcoming, or whatever, limitation for me, because I didn't want it to grow that way. I wanted to grow vertically. And so that reason made me to figure out, here right now, it's about me, it's about my passion, it's about my time, and how much time I spend with having the freedom to do shopping and travel. I have my own goals, my personal goals. So if you have a passion, or if you have a project, and you are looking for sustaining for a long time, Shuchika, to answer your question, this is there is a lot of viability in this. The reason is, it takes time, but nevertheless it pays, because I have designed this system where I'm helping women. And I myself have not invested hugely. The reason is, I did invest, and then I understood, it is not really required. So whatever mistakes I have done, I'm not going to advocate that to you. You don't have to have a great investment to actually go there and be successful. So whatever I have gone through is what I'm actually teaching, so that the others don't have to take a year to figure out their niche. It can happen. Actually, it happened in that workshop within 4 hours. I've got the feedback. I can share that video. You can go to my YouTube and you can have a look at that video, where the lady is talking about how she found her niche. Though others were telling her that this is your niche, she was not ready to accept it. But when she experienced this workshop, she really felt, yes, this is my niche. And that's the beauty, when you come, and then when you interact, when you have these workshops. So I'm helping women to build that sustainable, viable businesses online, where investments are low, but then you have the flexibility to work from anywhere in the world at any time, and in your area of passion, what you love to do, not what somebody wants you to do. So that is building an incredible life for yourself and for others, having that stability. And this takes time, but then it's the journey is more important. That's what I'm actually, as a mindful practitioner, I love to do that. So I have no more questions. Let me just take a look before we kind of close this chat. Let me just take a look and see if there's any other questions that are popping up, or that's it. I think Suchika's, I think one which I've already answered, but then I can just take it a little bit more in deep. Hi Jahnavi, I am a Reiki master with my niche being attuning online. How can I increase my reach as in people within India and abroad? As I told you, Suchika, this is the best place to be in if you are planning to do it online. There's nothing like it, because even I'm a Reiki master teacher, and Reiki has got its own wisdom. It has got its own intelligence. It travels. After the first degree, we teach people to become attuned. We call it distant healing. So what it means is it has its own intelligence of traveling from one place to another, wherever it is in the world. So having said that, you can create these online courses, you can create those online sessions, healing sessions, and but you need to have your own particular niche. And what it means by niche is, you cannot just say that I heal, anybody can come. I mean, the way I have created this is for women. Who My niche is, I help women become freedompreneurs, and by creating their online courses in their area of passion or wisdom or skill set or knowledge. So I want to create knowledge coaches. So when you say this, when you have a clear cut message, and that is when you'll find those clients. And once you have this message very clear, the people will come to you and they will get attracted to you. You will get the clients, and you can always do that kind of a service to them, heal them. And so I think, yeah, that's it. And I hope this was inspiring to you, and I am looking forward to connecting with you. And the journey to freedom and lifestyle as a freedompreneur, I love to move. I love to set my goals. I don't want to have a kind of stuck situation in my life. I always like to move, and that's why I became a freedompreneur. Hope my chat and my journey has inspired you to become freedompreneurs as well. So I look forward to you to join my Facebook group, which is called Women Freedompreneurs Mastermind. Send me an invite to add, or if you can just Sharnita can help me with email IDs of you. I can send you an invite, or if you're already on Facebook, you can actually send me an invite to be added to the group. It's called Women Freedompreneurs Mastermind. So I'm looking forward to continue this journey with you, so that we can all have great, incredible lives. So thank you so much for being here, and participating in this wonderful chat that I had with you, and sharing all the questions. So see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.